Cinematic cutscenes. TV show announcements. Cinematic cutscenes. Movie announcements.
We have been working on a movie.
Cinematic cutscenes. Fangirling. Cinematic cutscenes. Mobile games. Cinematic cutscenes. More cinematic cutscenes. I'm sorry, but E3 is supposed to be a video game expo, right? Any danger that someone can show us a real, actual video game? I guess not. Disclaimer. This is entirely my take on E3 based on the news and footage I have personally seen. If you want to know everything that happened, start at the Wikipedia page and from there begin your long, grueling journey of research, discovery and eventual disappointment and despair. These videos are just covering the bits I found interesting and or crushingly disappointing. I can't cover the lot. I'm just watching the press shows and reading the news, so this is going to be potted coverage. But shit, at least I'm an independent channel with zero affiliation to any corporation or company, so at least you know what little news you're getting isn't going to be a covert sales pitch. You guys kept requesting I cover E3, so this is all your fault. The most common observation I've seen about E3 this year is this: where the fuck was the actual game footage? Well, this is our live service future. In an industry that is determined to get us to pay first, get game later, there isn't going to be as many finished games to show off before they go on sale. Having a fully formed finished game to show off before it goes on sale is increasingly going to become a rarity, with a few notable exceptions. It also seems clear to me at least that the video game industry, having moved sideways into mobile games, now wants to move outwards into television and start to occupy the space currently held by traditional television media, which logically is the next market to expand into. Anyways, I've lumped everything newsworthy into one giant fuck pie, including some of the peripheral events that happened external to E3, like EA's separate EA Play event. They didn't want to hang out with the scuzzy crowd, I guess, so they went their own way. But without further ado, let's grab our endoscopes and attack this problem from both ends. Ubisoft. Ubisoft is continuing its relentless military march towards the objective of becoming a fully live service company, where its games are packed full of microtransactions, loot crates, manipulative loot algorithms to screw you until you reach for your wallet, pedo caches, paywalled content and XP boosters. They want you to pay all year long to keep playing the overpriced game you already own, and then at the start of year 2, make you pay all over again to keep playing it. So what about the games? Watch Dogs Legion. Crime, pig masks, civil unrest, Cockney accents. It sounds like a perfect plan. In fact, it sounds like one of my plans. Initially, this game looks like a really good idea. Simulate a microcosm of a dystopian future London. Recruit and play as any character you want. It's got hacking and permadeath. At first glance, from a stylistic and business point of view, it's like someone set GTA 5 in London and replaced mission mechanics with Watch Dogs activities, and instead of characters and inventory, you get State of Decay style permadeath mechanics. I'm intrigued by this game, but then I looked at the details. The pig mask was the giveaway and the trailer is full of cosmetic items. You bet your ass this is going to be the same old live service rollercoaster ride of microtransactions, pedo caches and manana content delivery schedules. On the plus side, hopefully we get to see some more Ubisoft Nazi weapons, or at the very least, a Stahlhelm. This is one of those games that initially looks like a very interesting and creative idea. I'm just not convinced that the end product will live up to expectations once the money whores at Ubisoft have taken a creatively wonderful idea, crushed the budget, packed it full of microtransactions, wrapped it in a tissue of lies, and then thrown it at the audience. Think I'm full of shit? Watch Dogs came with £39 worth of DLC and microtransactions. Watch Dogs 2 sells with £216 worth of DLC and microtransactions. Watch Dogs Legion, if it follows the trend, will eventually have over £1,000 worth of DLC and microtransactions. Ubisoft these days knows the free profit is in selling pixels to fucking morons, and only 1% of the players need to be whales to make this a win. They don't care if they piss off the other 99% as long as the whales have been harpooned. You be the judge, but I reckon this fucker is going to be packed full of microtransactions. Just Dance got its obligatory, albeit scaled down presence, more cinematic bullshit, and a little bit of dancing on stage. Less than optimal, but at least it was a refreshing break from watching Zumba videos to cheer myself up. Oh yeah, and they also had the shittest pole dancers I've ever seen. You need those poles to be longer, stronger, and firmly attached to the floor and ceiling. You don't just dance around holding the poles. Fucking hell, do I have to do everything around here? Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
What is that? It's Mac, dude. This better be good. Holy shit!
Made the stunning announcement that they're making a comedy show about a video game studio and they're partnered with Ubisoft. What is it with Ubisoft and Nazi references? They showed a short clip of Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet and it looks quite good. But fuck it, let's be realists here, they're partnered with Ubisoft, so we ain't going to be seeing much satire about AAA publishers constantly lying, profiteering and selling gambling products to children. Now if they had that shit in the show, then it will be a gold star from me. Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
When those rounds come screaming past your head, you're gonna learn if you're hungry enough to take that victory.
Nah, I think I'd rather make a sandwich and have a nap. Then maybe play some Hello Kitty online. You know, it's another Ghost Recon rehash, and there were Rainbow Six Siege rehashes. I know it's fun killing people and not so fun shelling out more money for it in what is essentially the same game reiterated ad nauseum. And I mean that literally, the nausea bit. I literally had to rewatch some of the conference to work out what was DLC, what was a sequel, because the Tom Clancy stuff is turning into one giant smear on a spectrum of Tom Clancy-ness, and frankly, it's all starting to look the same to me. The most sinister and insidious aspect of the reveal was the announcement of Ghost Recon Delta Company. I have to do more research into this, but from my initial impressions, it's the formalised application of community censorship, mind control, the ETF, incentivised promotion, and for want of a better way of putting it, segregating the fanboys and the shiny happy people. Shills from the rest of us miserable bastards who complain about stuff. stuff like content not being delivered, broken promises or buggy unfixed game issues. You know, pragmatic customers basically. The people they want to silence on all social media platforms. Now it would appear that if you want top tier access to the community, reveals and the community managers and the devs, you have to fucking apply. This makes Ubisoft banning me from the subreddit look tame by comparison. Now by default in Ghost Recon, all the customers, players, YouTubers and cosplayers are on the outside, and you have to play nice to get in. You even have to fill in a fucking application form because, you know, just buying the game isn't enough these days. You actually have to be well behaved, compliant and servile to get into the inside of what's going on and win all the free cookies and participate in the exclusive activities, some of which are PvP related. What's next? You have to apply for a ticket to watch Stay at the fucking game. You have to fill in an application form before you can comment on the Twitch feed. Perhaps this is entirely innocent and everyone who applies will be accepted, but placing a large section of the community's activities behind an application form and a vetting procedure, with NDAs and data sharing licenses with third parties, is shady as fuck. Who the fuck do these guys think they are? The fucking FBI? On a positive note though, with Ghost Recon Delta Company, at least Ubisoft is enforcing its Federal Trade Commission obligations to force content creators to clearly state they are partnered with Ubisoft in all their content. That's a step up. I can think of a few folk in the Division community who have promoted loot crates covertly in the past, who would have probably kept their pie hole shut if the players had known at the time they were working for Ubisoft. Anyway, the main takeaway here is that just like an old-fashioned Alabama public bus, Ubisoft has now started to introduce segregated seating for all of its valued players, content creators and customers. Well, I say valued, but if you don't fill in a 3-page application, give them your social media account details and pass the vetting procedure, you will be sitting up at the back of the bus with the likes of me. The Division 2 got a quick mention. Terry Potter was clearly so embarrassed by his lack of legitimate content that he disguised himself by putting on a wig. But he wasn't fooling anyone. Under the circumstances, you would have thought Ubisoft would have lent him a rubber pig mask. Or he would have just brought one of his own. I could have lent him one of mine. Could have lent him a decent wig too. It's also noteworthy that now Ubisoft is in bed with the Chinese government and censoring its games for the Chinese censors. So it's dreadfully ironic that the skull t-shirt he was wearing would actually get removed from any video game shipping in mainland China. Just saying. Terry revealed that the first DLC content will apparently take the player outside of Washington DC. Well, sorry to shit in your milkshake, Terry, but players have already figured out how to do this. It's called sacking this broken game and going back to playing Division 1. Anyways, Terry gave us his spectacularly unilluminating reveal of the Year 1 DLC episodes, using cinematic trailers lasting a matter of seconds each. I shit you not, the first one was 28 seconds long, including the lights fading up and down. They were so unimpressive, there was no gameplay footage. And whilst I'm sure number 1 is not finished, number 2 and number 3 are almost certainly unstarted vaporware at this point. This is why there is no in-game footage. So it would appear there is no survival mode coming, no last stand coming, no underground coming. That's the biggest takeaway for many of us. Perhaps these DLCs will turn out to be good. Perhaps they'll be fucking brilliant. But they did not appear to be substantive new game modes like the Division 1 DLCs. Perhaps I'm wrong. But if I'm wrong, it's because practically no substantive information was given away about the content. But it was demoralising that they're pulling stunts like rolling the next raid into Episode 2 and passing off undelivered base game content as actual fucking DLC. That is some grade A Top level stocking filler shit going on right there. Then again, so far, all the so-called added live service content has been literally stuff they couldn't finish in time to release with the base game. I'm sorry, but they're pissing down everyone's back and telling them that it's raining. We will have to wait and see what they're like and if they're any good, but it seriously looks like they have cut the already miserly funding for the franchise and are only producing a few shitty mission add-ons and fluffing them up for the crowd. It's a sad thing to admit, given my love of the franchise, besides its faults, but they're winding up this game. The DLCs at least look right now like a total joke. I mean, literally like 3 piece of shit joke missions. And if there is one thing The Division 2 did not need right now, it's more repetitive content. Nothing I can say sums up the situation better than the comments in the live stream. Snoring emotes. I want to die. Dead game. What a bad showcase. And my personal favourite, no one cares. Throughout the whole presentation, people were spamming the following word in chat. Anthem. Then Terry pipes up about the Division movie, like we've not already seen enough cinematics. They have struck a deal with Netflix to make the movie, so that's great news for the financing, and a massive dick punch for the screenwriting. I'm sorry, but Netflix makes very good TV shows, but most of their movies are a pile of fuck. I mean, they're like student films, and they seem to have this problem with resolution and ending their films properly. Then again, perhaps this makes them uniquely qualified to partner with the Division franchise. Then Ubisoft rolled out its new subscription service, Uplay Plus, which allows you to play all the games you already own, and all the ones you didn't buy because they looked a bit shit, for the mighty price of $15 every month. Fucking brilliant! Microsoft just announced its Game Pass offering a better catalogue for $4 a month, and Ubisoft offers this. Cracking job. Watching the reveal of Uplay Plus made me have the strangest thoughts. Imagine going back in a time machine and watching the press reveal of Google Glass, Laserdisc, or the Sinclair C5. Imagine being able to soak up all the atmosphere, excitement and enthusiasm, but at the same time smirking, because with hindsight you know that this product is doomed to failure, and it's totally fucked from the start. If they are so desperate to get access to customers so they can peddle the microtransactions and get them hooked on in-game gambling, then they need to give away this service for free, or for a fucking quid or something. Because no fucker in their right mind is going to pay $15 a month for this crap. $180 per year. They are taking the fucking piss. Origin Access Premier for EA only costs $100 a year, and the basic is only $30. Uplay Plus is like one of those dickheads on Dragon's Den who invent some new way to wipe your ass, and they are deluded enough into thinking it's going to change the world and make them rich. Only people have already invented toilet paper. It's been done already, better and more cheaply. What the fuck were they thinking? At best, they will drop the price drastically, but they will probably shit-can the service altogether. Roller Champions. The Roller Champions reveal made me laugh hysterically into my draw cup. It was a paper-thin attempt to try and snatch some of the Rocket League market. It's seriously that obvious and that cynical. Look, it's basically a family-friendly remake of Rollerball with the graphical style of these kids-friendly vomit projects like Fortnite. And it's got all the decent violence removed. I understand that Rollerball the video game has already been made. But did you really have to take out the gore? This game has the colour palette akin to the sort of diarrhea you would have if you took part in the 2019 Competitive Eating Championships but decided to eat crayons instead of hot dogs. I still think this game could be fun because I love Rollerball. They just need to release an adult content DLC with a sinister as fuck graphical appearance, spiked gauntlets, blood fatal traumatic head injury, and murder. Do all of that, and I would probably give it a glowing review. I'll say one thing about Rocket Champions, or Roller League, or whatever the fuck it's called. At least it's a finished game, ready to demo at E3. That might not sound like much of an achievement, but in these strange days we live in, it is. So well played to Roller Champions, and well played to the project team for this victory. No Ubisoft E3 reveal would be complete without Yves Guillemot getting up on stage and placing the fake cherry on the giant bullshit cake, telling us how he just wants to make us happier and stronger and improve the quality of our lives. And that will be $120, please, and additional money for all the premium cosmetic items. Oh, bless him. I guess he only wants us to pay him lots of money out of tradition, and if he could, he would do it all for free. How sweet. He did at least send out a special message thanking everyone who plays his games and thanking us all for our love. You're fucking welcome. Any chance you can fix the fucking Division 2 whilst you're here? Because last thing I heard, every other fucking bullet was disappearing because of some shitty fucking coding glitch. Their press conference was 75 minutes long, and they padded that out with a 6-minute orchestral introduction. It was all sequels, expansions, cinematic footage, community mind control initiatives, and promoting TV and movie spin-offs. Where were the new video games? The only original game they had was a clone of Rocket League. Where's the new stuff? Where was the gameplay footage of actual video games? It's E3. Chucking a few minutes of real footage into a 75-minute show? Really? When this dude and this dude can upstage a giant corporation's yearly video game catalogue exposition, then something tells me that Ubisoft is not concentrating hard enough on making new and inspirational video games. I think they've been spending all of their time on finding new and inspirational ways of extracting more money from their existing customers. I think someone needs to contact Ubisoft and remind them that this is a video game trade show. Because right now, they have got fucking nothing. Still, on a positive conclusion, they had two of my favourite actors on stage in the same E3 presentation. That's got to count for something. Perhaps we could even train them to make video games. Well, that is the first part of the autopsy out of the way. In the next video, we will crack the chest open and check out some of the more impactful announcements that I saw at E3. But for now, good luck and happy hunting. Oh yeah, and there was this pile of shit. And even this is a rip-off of Zelda Breath of the Wild.